Hi everyone, I'm Sykes.
And it's Gypjaq on the attack.
And we're the hosts of the Unwillingness Tree here on Anchor FM.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Here's why.
It's totally free.
The creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to all the streaming platforms, so you can be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more.
You can make coin from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
And don't forget to listen to us here on anchor.fm/Anukai.
ANVKAI. Hey, ANVKAI.
Come sit with us.
ANVKAI. ANVKAI. Hey.
Yo! Welcome to the E3 Tree. I'm your producer, Mr. Sykes, and I'm here with your host,
Gypjaq on the attack.
Wow. And tonight's episode is tentatively titled, I might have to shorten it because it's probably not going to fit in the thing. Rosa Parks did not sit in the front of the bus so you could throw black women under. And we're really going to focus on just black people throwing other black people under the bus. But black women, more often than not, are the first ones to be thrown under the bus, and it's done with such carefreeness. It's problematic, and I can't say it's become problematic because, literally, this is a tale as old as white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not going to say as time.
Because time is old, motherfucker.
But a tale as old as white... Well, if you look at some of the Patakis, yeah, maybe it is a tale as old as time.
And it's really you know what I'm saying, the thing is, the title is still appropriate because we were talking about it because I was are we really just talking about black women? But it's really things that are associated with femininity that allows y'all the gall and audacity to feel like you gotta silence or blow out the flame of any black person that has something to say, deals with anything racist, and expresses such in a way that is passionate and uses emotion to actually, get the thing out at all, And it's ridiculous that people spend so much time trying to control the oppressed rather than calling out at the top of their lungs from the mountaintop with a megaphone, the oppressor, to get us the fuck out of this oppression. And it boggles my mind, to use a phrase from Derudius Jones, it blows my fucking dick. And I just wonder when we will not only come out of judging each other for especially not being respectable in any way, but come to some freaking balls and really take it to the actual man. Y'all know how long niggas have been talking about take it to the man. When has that happened? So, again, to reiterate, Rosa Parks did not sit in the front of the bus for you to throw black women, black femmes, black femininity under it. Period.
It gets really crazy, and there are constant abuses almost everywhere, and for some reason the need to silence black women when ever an issue arises, or especially when black women draw criticism of black men. I feel the under the under the bus shit like really really happens.
Because it's bros before hoes, which every black woman or every woman on the planet to people, to men in general, are hoes to them in that phrase. It's I ride for my niggas and I lie to my bitch. Like, they don't give a fuck about these women, and they would rather look good and have loyalty to their bros than loyalty to the truth, which boggles me. Like, I was trying to wait to bring this nigga up, but it's like, okay, the whole Terry Crews and Gabrielle Union shit. Like, dude, like, how deep in coonery could you possibly be? Like, she had an issue with the situation. She didn't make it a whole serious thing. Gabrielle Union said maybe 3 paragraphs about a thing.
Actually, she didn't speak out at all. She has yet to actually make a personal statement.
Like an actual statement. She complained on the job, and they spread the story. Okay, she hasn't made a big deal out of this at all. But here come Terry Crews. You work with them, don't you? The master ain't never treated me like such. Master been good to me. Master been good to me. Master feed me the top of the chitlin. Like, I cannot.
Just 7-10 split her right under the bus.
For real. It's like, well, damn. And when you was out here being upset that somebody touched your little wee-wee or grabbed your butt or whatever have you, you know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, fuck out of here. There's fucking sexual harassment in the workplace, and this shit affects men too. But fuck that. Solidarity with my brother Terry Crews. I don't give a fuck who he's talking about. Like, she was about you. And then your response when people called you to task. Niggas, I didn't even see a whole bunch of niggas really reading you like you should have been read, Terry. Like, people were really trying to speak to you from a place of like, whoa, brother. You just threw your sister under the bus. Like, don't you remember when she was right there next to you, standing up for you? One of the few people that did not wait for the whole story to break and just listen to the first phrase and the first moment that you spoke and said, yes, let's uplift this man, because men get sexually assaulted too, especially by black brothers, by these white motherfuckers who want to continue to own their bodies as well. Very simply, don't you remember that? And your response was, my wife is the only woman I need to please? This was never about you pleasing Gabrielle Union. Dwayne Wade seems to be pleasing her just fine. Okay? Like, she's chill on the pleasing market. You were supposed to literally just keep your mouth shut. Literally not saying anything would have been better than what you did. Saying, you know what? They don't treat me like that, but black women are. I support her in her experience. Black women at large get treated like that in this industry. You could have went blood on her team without actually like doing anything bad for your own image or like trying to make it seem like you have been treated that way. No one asked you if you know, they did ask you, but no one cared if you were treated that way. We cared for you to be on the same side as your sister because she was on your side, period.
And what a lot of people don't see is, like, he was given an opportunity to support and uplift a black woman, and he, like, threw it away.
Tossed it, burnt it, lit it right up.
But that's what whiteness does, and, like, it may seem that we're coming down on black men, but, like, like we always say, consider the source. And the source of this is, at the end of the day, white supremacy. And what that really means is we have forces that function against us that are outside of our control. Like, this country wasn't formed by us. We came to this country as property. Laws were formed to keep us in a certain place and to divide us and keep us from uniting, because the reality is if we unite, we would want to overthrow them, because who wants to be in the position that black people are in the Americas and globally?
Period.
So you have to understand, when you can divide your man against your woman, that's the base right there. Like, okay. He honestly didn't have to say nothing but like I support her, and it's a shame that she went through that, and I wish her the best and keep it pushing. You didn't have to say much as Jack said.
I mean,
you
honestly,
really didn't want to damage your brand or anything like that.
And really, I don't know what these niggas are not seeing, but black women, black people in general, and black queers are literally your whole career. You get us on board with any of the shits, you will be set for life. This is why when people say things about black business and black people not wanting to be involved in black business and pay for black business and things of that nature, it's crazy because really we are literally the whole economy. Like it's us that you gotta please, and white people will follow. Like it's that simple. They always copying. So you could have been a pioneer, my nigga. You could have made You could have switched up the whole game, but no, you instead decided to stay respectable, a respectable ass Negro, and keep the status quo. Respectable Negroes are the fucking worst. They are the thing that really slows us down and takes us back. They're the thing that keeps our oppressor a million steps ahead of us, because end of the day, all y'all keep saying is assimilate. Be nice to the white man. Do this, that, and the third, and they will see you as worthy of giving you whatever. Just like how y'all are sitting there going to the Oscars, going to the Grammys, going to this, that, and the third award.
Why don't they respect us? Why would they give us the awards? Because it's not for you niggas. You are here for entertainment purposes, not to be uplifted and accoladed.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Period.
And if it happens, it's really because it was unavoidable. And white people are like, we got to give them this one.
Or the same reason Obama was elected instead of anybody else, to keep you calm and because the job was still going to be decently done after the fact. Like when BET was actually run internally by black people, you niggas wasn't showing up to the BET Awards. So what's tea? You know what I'm saying? The Soul Train Awards, they had great sound in forever. You can tell singers can't hear themselves at Black Girls Rock. So there's no support, you know what I'm saying, from you people who have all this money and power. Diddy out here talking about, I swear, I didn't want this to be celebrity gossip. We're going to get into real life people in a second, but let's get through this.
Before you go there, let's go here first so we can also incorporate real life people. So, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. This was a tragedy that we faced. I think it's been like 2 weeks now. Him and his daughter passed in a helicopter crash, if you haven't heard. And it's been a real point of grieving, especially like in the black community. And, you know, people are allowed to grieve and grieve the way they need to grieve to like get through that process. But what I've noticed is a lot of black men, celebrity and regular niggas alike, coming out and like making these posts about, oh, this really like impacted me. I need to like change my life around and like treat my women right and get closer to my children. And this goes in with our theme. It's just like, why did it take this?
Right.
Like, okay, things like this make us realize like our own mortality, and that can be a real sort of get you in check sort of situation.
Wake up call as fuck.
Taking care of your family,
right,
shouldn't be a wake up call. Like that's a bare minimum. That's a bare minimum.
And I don't mean to bring it back to the celebs, but my nigga Tip, holy shit, literally everybody, every woman on the planet, literally every black woman on the planet has been telling you that you ain't been doing right by Tiny. Literally every black woman on the planet said it is ridiculously patriarchal and fucked up that you are sitting here fucking going to the OBGYN, joking about checking your daughter's hymen. Meantime, one of your younger sons is out here fucking. Like, I can't. You want your daughter to be safe, raise better sons. You want these women children to be safe? Be a better man yourself. You want her to not go around and be around you because I know how men are. Yeah, because you are that man, bro. So at the end of the day, if she's attracted to that man, it's because you set the foundation for her to see the way that you treat her mother, which is not Tiny, and Tiny, as love. So what you mean? What do you mean?
And also, this is one of the several babies he had on Tiny.
Right. Like, her very existence is disrespect. Like, how, like, what do you do? What do you do when you're a disrespectful existence? You know what I'm saying? You hope that this person understands that, and she seems to be
suffering Tamika Colette Harris.
She's okay. She seems to understand. His daughter seems to understand. You know what I'm saying? That like he's fucked up, and just like lets him be fucked up. And I hope she doesn't. She isn't attracted to people like her father. But end of the day, you can't be surprised if she turned up pregnant by somebody who got a wife and kids already, because hello, that was her mother. Like, what do you want? So, bringing it back to normal people, on top of the Kobe thing, one of the first people to break the news outside of TMZ is like the LA niggers. Some people will say knackers. I heard it sounded straight up like niggers to me. Okay, let's just say what I'm gonna say. But people are saying, and she meant to say Lakers, right? I believe she meant to say Lakers. I do believe that. People wanted to say she was trying to say LA Knicks and was trying to change it to Lakers in the middle of her phrase, and maybe that has some merit, but I don't believe that. I believe that this woman says niggers on a regular basis, and it was a Freudian slip, okay? And yeah, she slipped up, but the shit is still triggering to black people, because guess what? When white people say niggers, your ancestors are like, huh? A what? Lynched me because how? You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing a bunch of people... I'm seeing a bunch of people online telling black people they shouldn't be emotional about hearing something that might not have been the word actually, and could have been knackers and this, that, and the third, and might have had all these other extra explanations. Why are you niggers defending this white woman over black people's emotions? She is not affected by the emotions of black people. That black people saying, hey, she said niggers, I don't like this bitch, fuck her, da-da-da, is not affecting her bottom line. If she gets suspended for a second, she gets suspended for a second. If she loses her job, she will find another one. She is a white woman. She is peak femininity in America, in the world, while we are still under fucking white supremacist patriarchy. So y'all are not out here trying to act like we are hurting her. Or better yet, you're not going to say to us that we are hurting ourselves by focusing on any level of racism or oppression at all. Yeah, maybe her slipping up saying niggas might have been small, but at the end of the day, you don't even know what your brother just went through at work today to have heard that and then feel triggered. You don't know, like, racism...
In the midst of his morning.
Racism rears its ugly head every fucking day in these streets. Okay? So for you to then take your time to tell black people that they're wasting time by being emotional about this, by having a response, the audacity of you to say fake outrage.
Right, because look at it this way. Black sportscasters and news anchors never slip up and say racial slurs. It happens frequently. Like, this isn't the first instance of something like this happening.
I would list them, but my producer would probably be really mad of all the things that we don't say on a regular basis. Some might even say on a regular basis that are not black people racial slurs, you know what I'm saying, that never get slipped up and said on fucking television or on the air whatsoever. Okay? And y'all know the list. White people have been very creative in their list of derogatory terms for all these people of color. From the Jews to the Spanish people to Chinese people to natives and to Middle Eastern people down the line. Okay? Let's not.
I heard niggas. And I say it like, you know, Freudian slip. That means it had to be somewhere in your mind. Somewhere in her mind she was thinking, oh, I gotta talk about this fucking niggas. Oh shit, I said it. All day.
I had a story that I was gonna break, but this nigger died. Like, y'all can feel however you want to feel, and that's the thing. You can feel however you want to feel about it. But for you to then be like, oh my gosh, she slipped up, like, y'all are dragging it. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yes, it was a slip. Sure, it was a slip. The shit was Freudian, though. And maybe I don't have enough evidence to say that, but I'm going to tell you, it felt motherfucking Freudian, okay? And regardless of whether it was Freudian or not, whether it was a string together like they tried to explain it or not, you are not going to sit here and tell me that it is worth your time, it's more worth your time to tell black people that they can't have a feeling about that thing and less worth their time to have that feeling. Enough of y'all know about Joyce DeGruy to understand post-traumatic slave syndrome, to understand that these fucking traumas are generational, to understand that some of us went through more than others of us, to understand that some of y'all coons are generational coons, to understand this, that, and the third, to be breaking these shits. Okay? So cut it out. If you don't see that behavior that you had as coons, let me call you something better to the ears. You're a respectable Negro that thinks that there should be, that has no emotional availability, that has an emotional tank that gets emptied, and are mad that some of us don't have a tank. That some of us are not distracted by one piece of oppression and need to focus on another piece of oppression instead. No, that's oppressive, so is that, this is going to get me my coin, that's going to make me laugh, this is going to turn me on, that's going to make me mad and it's not oppressive, that's going to make me sad, and guess what? I can do all of this shit, if not at once, in the same motherfucking day. It's not my fault that you are indifferent. It's not my fault that you are not different. It's not my fault that you was dead. And don't be mad at me that the white supremacist patriarchy made it so crazy for you to have to deal with that you also had to put your emotions to the side in order to survive. Brother, I understand. Okay? I'm not telling you to be emotional. That's not what I said. But you're not going to blame me for having something to be emotional about. It's not my fault. Now, was I out here ranting and raving personally about her saying niggas live on the air when describing something that Kobe Bryant, who just died, was a part of? No. Do I think it's that serious? Who gives a fuck how serious I think it is? That's the point. Who cares how serious I think it is? Who cares how serious you think it is? If the brother standing next to you think it's very serious, how does it make your day better to tell him it's not that serious? Oh, you must benefit from whiteness. You must be getting some white dick or some white pussy. You must be collecting a very nice coin or got a promotion on the way, or about to sign a deal, or about to get your own talk show, or about to do something that whiteness is in control of and has to allow you access to in order to do that to your brother. You is not positive. You is not a positive person. You is not a positive vibes only motherfucker, which is so toxic. But you are not an actual positive person by throwing your fucking brothers and sisters under the bus for white people. Oh, love and light. She just made a mistake. Everybody's human. That's not, no. No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I've never slipped up and called somebody a chink. And I've dated many an Asian man. Never happened. Never. Never, 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 never.
I've had many an opportunity to slip up and call people spics.
And I've had I've never had some word vomit. But I don't know how I clearly heard the G sound. So
where are y'all finding this K? Where are y'all finding this A? It was clearly N-I-G-G-E-R.
But let's move away from that, because that is what it is, and people will come to it in their own time, I guess, because not everybody processes things the same way, and I want to say that we're lucky enough to have the emotional capacity to walk and chew gum. But it's definitely a burden.
It definitely is.
Um,
This is even like how there was this one meme that was like, some people, notice that first word, I'm not going to repeat it. If you heard me, you heard me if you were listening, right? Love their Greek heritage, right? Talking about the Divine Nine and Black Greek organizations more than their own heritage. A bevy of Greeks came to be like, well, actually, the ritualism within the associations are very African in origin, and this, that, and the third, da 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 da. All really good information. Again, I never posit to be always right. I like to collect information. I am not a Greek, so there are things that I don't know about the organization and how they move. What I do know about a lot of Greek organizations are the hazing thing, which I do not agree with, and then there might be some African traditional religions and African things that include hazing. Those is not mine, right? But end of the day, my point is there's enough of y'all with megaphones that are mad loud, that are mad anti-black, don't want to see nobody with kinky hair, mad colorists, super toxically Christian, and the like. You know what I'm saying? There's so many. It's like, look, you might be a Delta and an Oloshun, meaning a person that is initiated into the Yoruba traditions that has Oshun as their crown and as the priest or priestess of their mysteries. We're talking Delta, so priestess of her mysteries. But your sister standing right next to you think you worshiping the devil, and would scream to high heavens with you standing right there that you worship in the devil, and plead the blood of Jesus on you, and go online, tag you, and be like, yo, don't fuck with this soror. She worshiped the devil. And these people are dumb loud. I have siblings that went from Christianity to Islam, got back in touch with their sorors, and went right back to Christianity and really OD blast anything that is not Christian, because they believe it to be anti-Christian if it's not Christian, right? So we're not going to sit here and act like that first word, going to repeat it, some, is not literally sitting there blaring in your face just as loud as these people that want to be anti-African in these organizations. So y'all would rather try to shut someone down because a bunch of people came and tried to shut me down, right, for putting this meme up. Many others came and educated me on certain things to let me know that the numbers do not reflect the volume of these people that are actually not doing right by their African people, okay? That the numbers are way more on the other side where they're very pro-African, right? But the volume is crazy. And those people understood that the volume was crazy and came at me correct and gave me the education needed to understand what was going on. The rest of those motherfuckers were like, you don't even know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up. Whoa. I'm a whole black individual sitting in this world with y'all, sitting in this oppression with y'all, with a concern based on things that I have noticed. How about we unpack the concern rather than try to shut it down as though the concern is not valid?
And we can improve all of this through organizing and communicating and talking with one another. I really feel like there are many like teachable moments in that, because a lot of that stuff really could be said about anything, but specifically with like the Greek society and those loud people, like the same people sort of like occur within our own like families innately, and people just like tolerate it, like still go to the cookout and be called a devil worshiper and never like resolve anything with their families. They just like either learn to ignore it or like deal with it. And, like, we don't talk about stuff. Like, amongst ourselves.
It's facts.
And, like, that's why, like, it's so important because, like, we do have this sort of, like, inbred anti-blackness and internalized racism where we're willing to throw one another under the bus if it means gaining white favor or gaining position. And that needs to change. And the only way that can change is through having these hard conversations.
And everybody listening.
Really listening. Especially men. Because y'all niggas, like, what we've learned through this past year from watching, like, a lot of different, like, bloggers and podcasts on YouTube, black men do not listen. They don't.
Very few of y'all fucking do. Like, it's really crazy. Y'all will sit there and literally have the people in front of you telling you what it is that they need, and you'd be like, nah, that's not gonna work. That's not what it is. Wait, you don't experience none of the shit that I'm talking about that makes me understand, not feel, understand entirely that what I'm telling you I need is what I need. You don't experience none of the shits, but here you are.
No. You don't know any better. This is going to work for everybody. It's going to work for black men, so, like, it's going to work for you. That's not how that works. No, it is. It is. And, like, that's, you're trying to replicate white supremacy. That's not black liberation. That's not freedom. That's not empowering the black family.
Okay.
That's you literally trying to be white. And that's why it's so easy for you to throw black women under the bus, because white men definitely don't give a shit about black women.
Y'all been throwing black women and...
They don't care about white women either, to be perfectly honest.
They don't care about nobody but themselves.
And that's not something you want to emulate. Like, why? Why do you want to be that?
They want a piece of that good white supremacy. They want a piece of that good oppressive power, because that's the only way that they see the power. And that y'all are masquerading as people that are for liberation.
And a power that's literally killing the world. Like,
right.
We are drowning in plastic. Drowning.
Like,
and they still making it. They don't care.
Right. Like, y'all are sitting here acting like y'all are for liberation, but that's not it. Like, the whole civil rights movement was y'all not listening to black women and femmes. And yeah,
you would have been out of this shit.
I consider all gay men specifically, I don't give a fuck. To be attracted to masculinity is a feminine trait. My friend Derek said that earlier, and it's a preach. Okay? To be attracted to masculinity is a feminine trait. So, end of the day, if you's a gay nigga, use femme to some degree. Right? So they have been fucking ignoring us for so long that, again, I don't know, I feel like I said this on another episode. I've definitely said it enough. That the real gay agenda, right? Okay, so like people like Umar Johnson, hate bringing him up, sorry. But one thing that he has right about what happened to the civil rights movement is that feminism and the gay marriage agenda came up and kind of stole the show, right? Now, that allowed certain things to happen and certain people to gain rights before black people gained rights, right? As a whole, gain rights, right? Now, the issue therein that they're trying to say, oh, the gay agenda is like to emasculate the black man, or the gay agenda is this, that, and the third. No. The agenda of the powers that be that allowed gayness to supersede the black revolution and black civil rights wanted to divide us further. That is the agenda behind the gay movement. It's not an agenda of gay people who only wanted to love who they loved legally. That's the only thing gay people, from white gays that don't got no power to black gays, that's all gay people wanted, was to be able to marry who we can marry, was to be able to go out in the street with our partners holding hands, showing general affection without getting killed or arrested. Okay? So that's all that was. But that was shit that y'all thought that y'all could shoulder, right? And shelf and put off for later to probably never actually return to, because you didn't see it as a black issue. You didn't see women's liberation as a black issue. You didn't see the fact that women needed to be making more money for the work that they did was an issue that was important to you. Because guess what? If your woman that's going to work, which your woman went to work, I don't give a fuck, okay? If your woman that's going to work is not bringing home as much money as you, guess who doesn't have enough money in their household? You're so concerned that you're not allowed the opportunities that white people have to make the money that white men get. When if your black women were making enough money, the same amount of money that you were making, y'all would have been better off. Feel me? You're so concerned with being able to kiss white women, look at white women, or whistle at white women without getting Emmett Tilled, that y'all not seeing that you got brothers who cannot even marry within their own race because they happen to be same gender loving brothers and sisters. And you're like, oh, that's not really that important, whatever, the fact that you're going to hell anyway. Oh, based on a tenet that white people taught you. Okay. Based on a one segment of a book that was talking to a particular set of Hebrews that were dying out, losing wars.
Because they were raping everybody.
That literally needed to skeet in women so that they could survive. But y'all take that tenet and act like that's applicable here. No, half of our men are in jail. So us skeeting into women to bring more people in here is really just feeding a slave industrial complex. The answer is not more black people. The answer is more black people holding hands. The answer is more black people uplifting each other for our experiences, whether they don't match what we've experienced singularly or if they do. What'll save black people is a lack of separatism and coming together as a unit. Like Bay said, organizing. And before we get into an organizing situation that comes to that has to do with meetings and all the things that white people are afraid for us to do, you know what I'm saying, from an outside perspective in terms of like getting together, getting ready for a revolution, whatever that means, right? Coming together and organizing from an emotional place as to at least giving a fuck about how your brother and sister feels standing next to you, regardless if you feel that way. How dare you be annoyed that somebody that shares history that you have in that their people were oppressed by whites. I don't give a fuck if your mother was black and your father was white and they actually loved each other and shit. I don't give a fuck what happened in your family. Guess what? Both of those people were probably shat on from both sides for what happened and getting you here. So understand that end of the day, a system of oppression created that. And y'all fucking have shared history in the fact that oppression happens to all of our people. So let them rock. When a white bitch on TV says niggers and somebody is triggered, it's okay that they're triggered. The fact that you are not outraged means that, and that you are fighting her battles for her on the internet, allows the next person to say it on purpose. Oh, I don't let words affect me. I'm my own person. Oh, that's your story. That the word niggers is oppressive. Like that's not my what? That's your grandmother's story.
And really, I feel like black people that have that sort of attitude are really just saying, white people can have me every which kind of way they want to, and I'm gonna let them take it. And I'm like, you about to get used horribly.
Poor little Negro.
They always come back and realize they were wrong though. Like once they get used and abused.
Shit, somebody had to tag me and tell me how wrong they was. Luckily, they spirit guides and ancestors led them where they needed to go, and they didn't have to experience no trauma at the hands of white people to fucking get that shit happening. Because 9 times out of 10, some of us are lucky and experience light trauma and be like, wait a minute, that's crazy. But a lot of y'all have to literally be dragged all the way down to the muck in order for, if by a white person, in order to then be like, oh wait, knackers is actually really offensive. Like, to the muck. And it shouldn't take that. Like, your brother or sister is sitting right here telling you that shit's offensive. You don't have to be personally offended, but like, understand that it's offensive. Like, check that off in the offensive box. It hurts you none. It hurts you none. And again, if it's helping you to silence them, check yourself. I ain't even telling you to stop, but just know where it come from. I ain't even telling you to fucking tell everybody where it come from, but just know what you're doing. And I promise you, when you get to where you need to go, where you're trying to go, you ain't gonna be sleeping that well.
Uplifting black women is absolutely free, and it costs you nothing.
Free 99.
And we're not saying that black women are infallible, but they are our women, and they are the most marginalized and unprotected group in the entire world. So that means no matter what, right or wrong, and if they wrong, we could deal with that in-house. And that's not to say, listen, because, like, I just thought about it. Niggas gonna conflate my word. Now, abusive and predatory behavior is not to be tolerated. But again, I feel like we can deal with that shit internally and work it out. And if it's like an R. Kelly situation where it's like a pathology at this point and it's unhealable, then throw him to the white justice system.
Look, there's a whole, I don't remember where she's from, if she's a Vudasan or whatever have you, but there's this whole video of this woman, I think she was a chieftain of some tribe, somewhere where there be niggas, and this man this man raped the little girl, and she ripped his dick off. To me, that's in-house taking care of it. Oh, you raping little girls? No dick for you. The dick goes to the dogs. They're hungry.
Boom, boom, bye, bye.
Okay, like the dick. I don't know if I would have quoted that.
But that's terrible. But that's the real boom, bye, bye.
I guess. But dick gone. Okay, like that simple. Oh, you beat your wife? You don't need those hands. Oh, you beat your wife? You need to never fucking see no pussy ever again. Like,
but we haven't been allowed to do it, like Gazi said, in so long. We think it's like impossible to do, and we don't have any good sense without the authority of white people, which isn't true. Like, we built civilization, but there's no need, especially in this situation of oppression that we're in, and institutionalized racism that we're in, that we need to turn against each other for any reason. Like, and even with the whole, like, thing, people like the Bill Cosby's and R. Kelly in our community, they didn't spring up from nowhere. Like, something created these monsters, and maybe if we were, like, in better communication with each other, we could see something coming to fruition and stop it before it manifests and becomes something of its own, and it's out of control. And we're brilliant people. Like, I feel like we have the power to do that. But one thing we can't do, and as much as we talk shit about T.I., like, I know he trying his fucking best with what he got. And if he would just listen.
period.
But I'm never going to throw that nigga away.
I might. On the strength that, like, we've been asking him to listen for so long. And again, he had to be drugged to the bottom. Why Kobe dying is him being drugged to the bottom. Hopefully it has to also do with his daughter dying in the situation as well. But it shouldn't take somebody's death It shouldn't take some tragedy, some mass tragic event. It shouldn't take none of those really, really fucking difficult things to get you motherfuckers to open up. That's what we're really asking you to do. Open up to the idea that some people have fucking feelings. Open up to the fact that the person laying in your bed has feelings. Open up to the fact that your parents have feelings. Open it up to the fact that your children have feelings. Okay? Again, this is not to say suddenly you need to keep toxic people in your life. This is not saying that you don't need to cuss people out that deserve to be cussed out. If they deserve to be cussed out, then they deserve to be cussed out. But you gotta gauge some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Am I cussing them out here because they did something personally wrong to me, or am I literally trying to silence a black person who's trying to call oppression out? Did something happen to this person today to make them feel a way? What happened to you at work? Oh, this motherfucking cave Becky. Oh, shit. Well, that explains it. Continue. You know what I'm saying? From the littlest to the biggest thing, it shouldn't take a Tamir Rice or a Trayvon Martin for somebody to be allowed in the black community by the black community to make a post about some shit that hurts. Like, what? And these are these people's pages. Are you kidding me? You trying to police people's pages? You wouldn't take a policing of your page from nobody.
Because what was all this for? What was civil rights and everything for if not to, like, in some earnest, to bring us together? So, like, I guess we can close by saying, like, Rosa did not tell that white man, I'm not getting up. For you to then throw up, like, 60 years later, to throw a black woman under that bus. Or a black man. Or anybody. That's not what this was for. Like, we've been hoodwinked and bamboozled, and we need to get refocused.
No, Tino Shade, I would love to hear from Rosa how many niggas was in the back of the bus. Like, bitch, just come back here. The fuck? Like, get up. You know what it is. Like, back then, there was the stakes were, I mean, the stakes are pretty high now, but back then, niggas were getting lynched out in the open. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't just happen up. It wasn't about happening upon a lynching that happened in a park. It was about, like, niggas are getting invited. There are postcards of pictures of the lynching being sent to X, Y, and Z. So
you could yell at a white person. It was, well, actually, that's still pretty.
It's still true. It's still true. But there's consequences that these white people get now. And at the very least, if our ancestors who fought for voting and fought for all of these things that prove to be worthless today because they just switched up slavery, right? If they did one thing, they allowed us a voice. If they did one thing, they literally said, all right, little nigga, you can speak now. That's what our ancestors did. Other than that, if you got a great granny who was a respectable Negro, she was wrong. Dead or alive, I'm telling you that she was wrong. And she could come see me if she wants. My ancestors have had to understand from my mouth and from everything that they've learned post-mortem that they were fucking wrong.
Black grandmothers roll up on us tomorrow.
They could come see me. They could come see me right the fuck now. It's about the witching hour is at 3 fucking a.m. They could come see me right today. Because I will let you know, we will light a candle and we will discuss this, girl. You were wrong. I understand that you did what you had to do for the time, but do not pass that shit on.
Don't pass it down.
Okay? Again, Rosa Parks did not literally risk her life telling a white man that she was not moving. She did not get arrested for doing such a thing. For you motherfuckers to scream at any black woman or black person or black femme that refuses to get up. Because they're tired. We are tired.
So, thank you guys for listening tonight. Please don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Instagram at The Anukiatry. And catch us here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for new podcasts. We're going to be having a new live episode up for you guys soon where you can call in and we're going to have some guests. Anything you want to say before closing?
Life is hard, niggas. And at the very least, just to bring back to something that Bay said, at the very least, we shouldn't be making it harder for each other. Let a nigga cry if they're hurting. Let them mourn Kobe. Let them mourn Kobe. Yeah, he was brought up on rape charges, but so many things around that situation shows that he either grew or the shit didn't happen. Whichever way you feel, let people fucking mourn over the loss of a brother. You're not popping because you're desensitized. You're not popping because you're indifferent. You're popping if you're a person that doesn't feel the hurt that everyone else feels, but you can understand where they're coming from. You're popping if you feel the hurt yourself. You're popping if you can allow oppressed people the space to express their concerns without trying to jump down their throat because you feel like you have different information. Be actually popping. Don't be dead. Don't be a dead man walking.
Don't be a dead man walking.
This has been the Anukiatry. Thank you for sitting with us under this bitch. And I cussed a lot in this episode, but y'all were killing me. I really hope that y'all figured that out, because if we can't at least figure that out, if we can't be emotionally supportive of each other, how y'all think that anybody's going to have anybody's back when guns is blazing?
What gun? What?
I'm not saying we got guns.
No,
we don't have guns. We not armed up.
No.
But y'all know what's coming. Y'all know white people are going to be... Y'all know white people are finna do crazy things. Y'all think this has something to do with Trump? Like, Trump has emboldened. No, Trump hasn't emboldened anyone. If any, like, they have been doing it. They
crowned him prince.
They have been doing it because they want a representative to show us that they're ready. Don't you see? Have y'all not, like, go on YouTube and see how prepared white people are, and then y'all will understand what I'm saying. Have a good fucking night.